Hi. Um, I'm here to talk about following your dreams and what that means, maybe for you, or what that means for other people, and sort of incorporate a little bit of what my experience has been in that regard up until this point. It's easy to say, look, just you have a dream. Whatever you're doing now, that is not your dream. Whatever you're doing to get by, that is not fulfilling you. Stop doing that and instead follow your dream. Now, everybody knows, these things sound good and they can sometimes feel good, and you can have a few moments where you think, yeah, you know what, I am going to do that. I am going to follow my dream. Enough of this dead-end job, or enough of this whatever pursuit that it is that isn't doing it for you. Putting that aside and instead concentrating on following what you believe your dream to be. And I'm being very deliberate when I say, what you believe your dream to be, because a 25-year-old's dream could be a 35-year-old's nightmare, and vice versa. Of course, I feel like in an ideal world, we would not be making decisions. Let me phrase this another way. I feel like in an ideal world, privilege would be more equally distributed in a way that would allow the impediments and the extra chances that people born of privilege, and when I say born of privilege, I don't mean born rich. I mean born in America, born white, born male. The extra chances that affords you, if those things were more equally distributed, and the playing field was a little more leveled, so that we all had the same opportunity to choose to follow our dream, because it is very easy to tell somebody who has a cushion and a fallback position and a support network that includes relatives and money and the ability to do things and not fall flat on your face and end up homeless, or not able to pay your utilities or buy food. There are situations that a lot of people are in where following your dreams is not only not pragmatic, it is irresponsible to follow your dreams in those cases, primarily if you have others that rely on you. So I feel like the first question that needs to be answered when you're considering following your dreams are, what are the ramifications of either achieving my dream or not achieving my dream? And who am I living for? Because choosing to follow your dream is a pretty conscious decision to make a choice for yourself, right? And I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm not saying that that's. I mean, it is selfish, right? But everybody is selfish. We make I make selfish decisions every day. Everybody makes selfish decisions every day. I don't think that being selfish is inherently wrong or evil. But if you're in a position where following your dream can affect you negatively and pretty much nobody else, by all means, give it a shot. And yet, even that is caveated by what is your position in life. So what I was saying before was, ideally, I think, if we all were given a similar amount of privilege, educationally and economically, Even in the state of affairs that things are today, when you turn 17 or 18, you're basically making a choice in a lot of cases that's going to determine the course of the rest of your life. Some 18-year-olds are wise enough or prescient enough or lucky enough, follow the advice of well-respected people or people who know what they're talking about, maybe a little more than what they do, to take that advice on board and to make choices that they don't regret. And 20 years later, they realize, yeah, I did the right thing. And I am now sort of in a secure position in society, and everything's okay. Maybe, they love what they're doing. Hopefully they don't hate it, right? I mean, as long as they feel fulfilled, what you do, what your work is, doesn't define who you are, right? But it does mean that it's a large part of your life is spent doing that thing. So, ideally, I would think that we would have a situation where privilege and opportunity was distributed far more equally than it is now, especially in America. But actually, I say especially in America, it's everywhere. It's not just America. It's hard to think of a country that couldn't stand to improve in this measure, in this area. But assuming that we could level the playing field, and you know what? Level the playing field, that's idealistic, and that sort of requires revolution, and that requires a lot of difficult obstacles to get to that state. It's just not going to happen under the structure that currently exists, right? But what could happen is sort of a gradual change towards, if not a level playing field, at least a playing field where there's, just hills and valleys instead of cliffs and sort of the Marianas Trench. We could bring those differentials, we could make that differential smaller, and by doing so, distribute opportunity in a more equitable way. But anyway, so get a little off topic there. It's hard for me to talk about this without thinking of the larger ramifications and what I would want to do differently. But even so even if we idealistically imagine sort of this perfectly flat level playing field, you shouldn't, I don't feel like it's wise to choose what you're doing for the rest of your life at the age of 18. I feel like we should have a second chance, right? And institutionally, we do not have that second chance. However, we do have that second chance, provided that we meet all these criteria of not sort of endangering the lives of others, or necessarily even endangering our own ability to sustain ourselves. We make that choice every day, and it's that goes back to, I think it was Langston Hughes who said, "What happens to a dream deferred? Does it something like a raisin in the sun, or does it do something else?" I don't remember the exact quote, but basically, I mean, the point was, a dream deferred can either die, never come to fruition, or fester inside of you to the point where one day it explodes and destroys who you are as a person, or causes some kind of abrupt break with who you were and who you become after this sort of critical mass is reached of not being able to take it anymore. So following your dreams, I just think it's very contextual. It's something that needs to be considered case by case, and also, what is your dream? What are and the truth is, as you get older, you tend to acquire, you might not, but the general tendency is you acquire more baggage. And that baggage makes it more difficult for you to make decisions that don't have knock-on effects that could hurt or endanger others. So I guess I think my point, I don't really have a point with this. I feel like I can't just come on here and say, stop what you're doing and follow your dream. I can't honestly give that advice to anybody, regardless of their age or situation. However, situation does factor into it, and I think you have to just kind of think responsibly about what pursuing your dream means. Think responsibly about what happens if you achieve your dream, because the pursuit of the dream will occupy you only as long as you don't have it. And then once you have it, you want to make sure that it is what you wanted. So in my case, when I was much younger, I made I've alluded to this in other videos. I had a dream that I wanted very much to follow, and I did. And I'm okay. I'm okay with it. But in hindsight, if I were given a second chance to choose a different dream, I might pursue that dream instead. Or I might pursue a dream that was less idealistic and afforded me more flexibility and more ability to do, not just to do what it was that I wanted to do. Like, this is the thing that I want to do, so this is what I'm going to do. But to do something that allowed me to be more flexible with other areas of my life as well. Something that allowed me to work in almost any city I wanted or any place I wanted. Something that allowed me to not have to actively be on the sort of looking over my shoulder all the time. So, there are a lot of factors. This is why I'm not a motivational speaker, because I don't believe it's as easy as just saying follow your dream. But certainly we all have the choice to say, yes, I'm going to put all this aside right now, and I'm going to pursue this other thing. I just think that as a whole, we need to consider we need to consider the whole when we're making that decision. And the sooner you do it, obviously, the better. The longer you wait, the more you defer the dream, the more difficult it becomes to make it happen. And you feel like it's a great demotivator once you reach a certain age. It's like, well, it's very easy to say, well, if it had been 10 years ago, I would have done this. But probably when it was 10 years ago, you probably already thought it was too late, or you had some other reason why you didn't do it. So, perhaps it's not the age itself. I think that is the obstacle. It is the like I said, the things that one tends to accrue: kids, relationships, family obligations, all that kind of stuff, that can sort of restrict your ability to just cast off everything that you're doing and decide to go become a travel blogger and take photographs around the world. And that's another thing, is obviously, you have a dream, look into it before you make that leap. Certainly read a lot about certain sort of dream followers who have abandoned steady jobs and pursued their dream and have ended up a few short months later massively regretting it. And so you just need to sort of make sure that what you're doing is the right thing based on all the different factors that you can predict at the time and make a decision. But fear of change for the sake of change should not inhibit you. You should try as hard as you can to fight against that. Yeah, I feel like this monologue has been more of a don't follow your dream, which I didn't mean for it to be. I believe that you can and should follow your dream. I just think it has to be a well-reasoned and well-thought-out move before you do so. But things like what other people think, what you're, things that you're afraid of, those things can be cast aside. I know that I would not have started doing ASMR videos had I let those things stop me, because they certainly were obstacles. Especially a few years ago. It's becoming more and more mainstream, but for a while it was very kind of fringe, and getting into it was something that I felt like I had to hide a little bit, which I don't feel that at all anymore. And doing ASMR was definitely a dream that I came into later in life and sort of discovered that it was something I really enjoyed doing. And I'm really glad that I did it. I didn't drop everything else that I'd been doing and then just concentrate on doing ASMR. It was very much something that I just folded into my existing life, as it were. So that has turned out pretty well so far. I'm still excited for the future. Wish I could do more as usual. But anyway, so follow your dream, but think long and hard before you leap. Follow your dream, but consider others and look before you leap. And let's also try and level the playing field and, try and be happy in doing what you're doing. The bottom line is, if you're miserable doing what you're doing, you may not have a choice. And even if you have those that are relying on you, being miserable is not sustainable. So get to a place where you can be happy or happier, content. Let's use the word content, because not everyone has a job they're ecstatic about, right? But if you can be content in your job, then I think that, and you feel fulfilled, especially if you feel fulfilled, or you can find things outside of work that fill that gap, then I think you're pretty lucky. I think you're pretty fortunate. So thanks, Chris, and I hope this wasn't too off topic. But again, I can only sort of say what I feel. So take care, everybody.